Start that.
That's hilarious.
Let's do somebody else so we could. Let's skip those two. We don't have to repeat ourselves.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay,
Be
I
quick.
forgot to record, but we're putting Ace in A. We'll explain ourselves.
Yeah.
Good gun, right? I will say this of the shotgun, right? That's not the best shotgun in the game. I do like it. A lot of people hate it. I love me some pulse shotgun.
I
So
think Ace has some good guns. I think he can be more useful in third mine at some certain points.
yeah, especially because
Just
of distance,
overall,
he can toss it. He doesn't have to be up
yeah. What
close.
I'm saying, I think Ace is really really good.
Um, so yeah, I think overall Ace is a good hard breacher. I think he's one of the better ones. Definitely can
Probably the
compete.
best one.
Now we're gonna put her in C.
Yes.
I think B. I think B, but we're gonna compromise on C because I do agree with her not changing her outfit. Because if they have that, she'd probably be like almost A at that point. But because
Oh yeah, they
here's
changed
what I will
the
say is I think she'd be a solid B because once that update comes out and people start to get used to it, they're gonna stop falling for it. But I think for like the first like month of
It's
Alibi
gonna be
being
great.
out
It's gonna be
is gonna be like almost I get that's what I'm saying because people are gonna continue to get tricked. But until they add that, she's staying in like B C tier for most people probably.
yeah. She just doesn't do enough.
Amaru, I mean
Oh,
like
she's a troll operator.
you can't really
I
do
don't.
anything aside from putting her in D because she like
Yeah,
when she works, but most of the time she's not. All right, like
super niche. I feel like super niche because not every site has a great window to rush through. There
I
are
agree.
some that have really good ones that are like softly off site and stuff, but it's just
I
super
think
niche.
like there are certain maps that work well. Like we've been talking about consulate a lot, where like that one
Yeah,
isn't really being used at all. She could rush there pretty easily and get into site pretty quickly. But once you
yeah,
take her onto a map where most of the site is usually occupied, especially around the area,
yeah. I completely agree. I completely agree.
a Rooney.
Rudy's
I
good. Rudy's
it's for
good.
me. It's between A and B. So let me hear what you
I
got.
was gonna say A. I was gonna say A. I was gonna say A. I think she's an S tier operator because I think both of her guns have a fatal flaw in them. The Roni has two little bullets, and the DMR isn't a like fast shooting gun.
The thing is, if
And
you
your
give
arm,
a Rooney to somebody who's really good at the game, you're gonna be top tier, right? Because again,
yeah,
high caliber DMR, really good gun. But if you give it to somebody like us, we're probably gonna do bad because I
yeah,
hate fast fire rate weapons because my aim isn't always on point, and so most of the time I don't have enough time to adjust it before I run out of ammo.
yeah. I think a Rooney is high ceiling, but she can't be the best because even for high level players, the guns still aren't the best.
Yeah, so she gets an A, gets an A. Give it to somebody
Yeah, I do too.
that's good at the game.
Phenomenal.
Ash. Now I'm gonna take biases away because no one likes Ash main. As an operator herself, I feel like she's a
It's
good
still
B.
not. It's still not good.
Think C. I'm like she's not. She has good guns, and honestly, the gadget is simple, right? Like it doesn't need to be like a complicated
Super
gadget like some of these
simple.
people. It's just she blows up shit. She make rotates. She can rush it.
It's soft shit, which is fine. You can be somewhat versatile with her. I'm okay with putting her at B, but I personally think C.
Okay, all right. Again, I just think that she's supposed to be a simple operator. You get it? She
Yeah.
drones, blows, rushes up, and then there we go. Otherwise, again, Azami, she'd almost be an S if it weren't for her nerfs. She's still fucking phenomenal and really annoying
I
to attack, but I think she's a lot more counterable now. People are just kind of dumb.
I think I
I
agree
still
with
feel like
everything
she's
you're
an
saying.
S. She's
I
so
still think
good.
she's S. I still think she's S.
All right, we're putting
I
Azami
think she's
so
I
good.
think she's in that point where even with the nerfs, people who know how to play her still play her very, very well.
Yeah, because before you even get to break it, unless you're running like a nade or something, you're probably gonna get
Yeah,
shot at anyways. And so most of the time, it's even risky trying to shoot at it to break it.
yeah.
So,
I think Azami deserves S.
Bandit, I feel like he would be like AS if it weren't for the other people who could do the same job as him.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think he's just the B tier version of other characters.
Because obviously he was like one of the only people that could do that stuff. But now
Yeah, one hundred
there's
percent.
other people. Still a phenomenal operator. And honestly, A tier if you could bandit trick. but that's a more
A
complicated
tier if
thing.
you get a trick. But
A
that's a
tier if you
pro
can
player
ban a
thing.
trick. B tier, I think he's solid B.
100%.
Um, so
All right, our first
Blitz.
F tier. Whoa, whoa. F tier. F tier, not because I
What do
don't
you
like his
mean?
gadget, not because I don't like his gadget, because I think his gadget is actually not the worst thing in the world, but it's been nerfed so much to the point where they're going to probably rework him that has to be F tier.
Also, I think it's extremely biased of most Ubisoft, the devs to give most people like they took away the chunkiness of operators with certain gadgets. Like, they took it with Callie, and a couple of operators, but they kept it on him. So when he equips his
Yeah,
shield, he's like a fucking 10, like a 10 armor or whatever. He's so fat.
yeah. He he's he used to be like an A S tier character when he came out and when he was like so strong. These nerfs have put him into the ground.
Yeah, I kind of just don't like his gun. I'm gonna be honest with
I
you.
don't like I don't like
I
his
hate
gun.
his DMR. His DMR is one of the worst DMRs in the game. And the fucking AR is like okay.
I just feel like he could be great, and hopefully the rework helps him. But right now, F tier.
We're almost there. Uh, we got like a season to go.
Season begun.
Blitz. Blitz is. I mean, shield operators in general are kind of going to be in this range right here, depending on which one you choose.
I think Blitz is a B tier.
Blitz is, especially with the new way shields work.
Yeah,
Blitz is definitely B tier.
he's not
Um,
unstoppable anymore. He's still very good.
I think if
Um,
you're a smart player, you can get rid of shield operators pretty easily. But if you let them get the upper hand on you even so slightly, you're kind of fucked with those shield operators.
yeah, I think Blitz is a very middle of the pack operator. There's counters to him, and there's things that he counters. So I think he's not terrible. He's in a very good position right now.
Let you get this one. You got enough experience to let me
S
know.
fucking
S
tier.
tier.
As someone who has come back to the game after leaving around, I want to say it was around like the Goyo period, the Goyo Warden period. Brava's gadget makes no sense. Not only because I didn't realize this changed until recently, she has 4 drones, 2 that can do the recon, and then 2 that actually do the gadget.
I
And I
think they
love
did
that.
that on purpose because of Twitch. I think they
Yeah,
made that change when when Brava came out, so that they would both get the drones.
yeah. So her having 4 drones is already a plus. I'm a camera type of person, so it's really good to easy to drone out. And she counters so many people on defense. You don't have to beat Thatcher if you want to get rid of bandits or Kaids. We were talking about Rooney and how good she is with her gadget and stuff. That becomes an A tier ability, almost S tier ability for the attackers. So like no impacts, no C4s because of Brava. There's just so many things you can do with it. The amount of defuses that I've stopped with an Echo drone because Echo died and had full access to both of his drones, or taking control of my Astros and stopping defuses are just S tier. There's no way about it. There's no way. Her guns are good. She has claymores to stop the push or like a jumping peak. It's really good. It's really good.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna let you take that one. I don't play her that much, but I feel like you did pretty well. Buck, I think easy A, just because again, it's another one of those operators that is super simple, right? Shotgun
I
to break
think
open walls, good guns, right? Very simple gadget. It's like
you read my mind a little bit. I think he's just a better version of Ash.
yeah. I just
He's just a better version of Ash.
obviously Ash can do certain things that Buck can't do, like for instance, like castle doors and stuff. But most of the things that like Ash is good for, like either getting the things you can't go open. She also has the distance as well. She has the distance on Buck, but Ash means I'm not going to put it above a Buck main. So
Yeah, yeah. Bucks are really good. You get the gadget. You get a good gun.
plus
You get a
again, you could
one stop
also shoot
on
the people with the
station.
gun. You can't really shoot the people with. You could, but why would you do that with Ash? You could do that with
Yeah,
Buck
I
though.
think I think Buck is a just a better version of Ash, in my
Absolutely.
opinion.
Now we got Capital. I like playing
He's
Capital
really
personally.
good. He's playing a lot.
Capital's a B for me. I think the problem is that most of the time, unless you're like a fucking highly skilled Capta player, which I am not, trying to shoot his bolts in the exact place you want to shoot them at is a bit risky most times.
Yeah,
So you
it's
can't
hard.
really do it through the line. You have to kind of get into the line of fire to get exactly where you do want sometimes. And also,
Yeah,
I think they removed. I don't know if you knew about this, but if you shoot a bullet hole into a wall, you can shoot the his gadget through that bullet hole, and it'll go through it. So, like for example, let's say I wanted fire in a specific place, I can go from below or above, shoot a bullet hole, and then
and then shoot.
and then it'll go through that bullet hole. I think they removed that, so that kind of nerfed him a little bit. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind
I
of
think
hard to get exact placements of where you want to shoot his gadget. Otherwise, his guns are good. He's fast, and he's
I completely agree. He has great utility. I think he has. I think I'm jumping the gun a little bit here, but him and Nomad have, I think, sit on the same line because they both have really good gadgets, but it kind of costs because of the line of sight problem and all that stuff.
Well,
So I
you
think
also
they.
like shooting them like directly at people. Nomads are supposed to be for flank
No,
typically,
no, no, no,
so
no.
I'm just
I stop flanks, but sometimes the angles that you need to get to stop a flank or put it somewhere
yeah.
to stop a flank
Okay,
is
all right.
hard.
Because sometimes the flank is within the room. I get it, but
Yeah,
nomad is usually for like flank watch, where you're inside the building, you're watching your
no,
bushes.
no. I stopped the flank for like the diffuser plant or whatever, and it's similar to Captel. So I think they're in a similar spot.
Um. Okay, we got castle next.
It's I would love to put him in S tier because he kind of stops a lot of people's plays, but so many things can destroy it.
Yeah, he's a very easy operator to counter because
Yeah,
he. I personally think that he's like a B tier late game, but I think he's a solid. Again, he's a simple operator. I think that's the problem. Is people will probably look at this tier list and say, "Wow, these guys are dumb. They're putting somebody like Castle any higher than a C." But he's a simple operator with a simple objective: is just to hold off sight for as long as possible. And if you place
if you
them
don't see
on
the
waves,
viability in Castle, like Castle can't be anything lower than a B. I would probably put him in B and A as
like
well.
realistically, like all of these people are viable. It's just like how like
Except for Michael.
Blackbeard is very not viable because it's just like he's so easy. His guy, first off, his wings stick out 50 feet from each other, so you can see him before he sees you. And see easy pre-fire. Azami, or sorry, Aruni, or fuck, whoever the fuck this is.
Amaru?
You can hear it from a mile away, and so unless you're just not paying attention, or you haven't seen an Amaru player in years, and so this is the first one you're encountering in like again years, and you're not expecting it, she's really easy to counter. And then we've already went over her. Castle is pretty simple. Again, the only problem he has that brings him down is the fact that almost everybody can take out a castle. You don't really
Yeah,
need a
well,
specific operator to take down a castle.
I agree. I think he stays in B just because there's so much that you can do to counter him.
Mm-hmm. Also, anybody who's watching this, Castle's UMP is fucking awesome. That gun gets so much hate. That gun is awesome. So, as somebody who likes playing Cav, I could just suck, but I feel like he can be. Because I hate her pistol. I've always been about pistols, but like it's kind of hit or miss. As well as getting an interrogation is super fucking annoying sometimes. Um, but when it works, like it helps out a lot. It's kind of hard to get that initial interrogation, especially like if two people are like the ring is like for me personally. I don't know much Cav means, but like when I down someone, I'm always scared that there's gonna be somebody around the corner. And so I probably missed out on so many interrogations because I was too scared to go for it, thinking that I was gonna die. So it's always hard for
I
me to
think
really confidently get an interrogation unless I absolutely for 100% know that guy is by itself. And so I think that it's like a very skilled operator to play as. And so I'm not a very skilled
I think
operator.
I think Cav is a high risk, high reward character. I think she can be really, really well played, but I think in most cases there's also just a if you're aware of the map, if you're aware of the rotates, you're gonna be aware of a Cav. And I think that's just what breaks her down a little bit. And I think she can be a B or even an A tier, but I think Gadget alone, an average player, is not going to use Cav to her fullest potential.
I think a
And
lot of
can
these
be
operators have been severely nerfed by the fact that attackers can change who they go while
I
they're
agree.
playing. Because, for example, every time somebody sees a Maestro, there's always going to be a Brava. You are a
Oh,
different
bravo.
story because you're always going
100%.
Brava regardless. But
No, but there's times that like you switch. I'm gonna play like Nomad or
yeah, but that's
somebody
that. But
else.
you're choosing Brava and then getting off of Brava when you see nobody has gadgets. Somebody
Yeah.
will specifically go, like they'll be like an Ash main, and then once they see Maestro, boom, going fucking Brava.
Yeah,
And
100%,
so same thing
100%.
for Cav. Once you see a Cav, like oh, there's gonna be a Cav. Let me get Jackal. Let me get fucking
Like
Nomad. Let me get flank
Jackal,
watches, stuff like that.
Deimos now, like there's so many
Exactly. Like,
people.
and so a lot of people will get affected by that attacker switch because they could easily switch on to somebody who's countering them directly. So Cav is definitely one of those people. Also, just be smart when you turn around. Sometimes if you think there's a Cav. So that's why she's going C.
I agree.
Now Deimos, I think
Whoa, 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 whoa!
what?
Clash, Clash. You play a lot of Clash.
Okay,
We have watched your with your
I will
Clash.
genuinely. She's not F tier. I think she's a weaker shield. Like if you're comparing them to the other, like even four shield operators, you got Osa, Fuse. I know Osa isn't really shield operator, but I'm counting her. Montang and Blitz. She's obviously the last person. But as an operator
Yeah,
herself, she's actually pretty good, especially if you have somebody playing off of you. Because again, it's not like Montang where she's a full extend guy in front of you. It's Montang that's zapping you and can pretty much see you clearly because Montang has just a little window hole on top. She can fully see.
yeah.
It is technically counterable as well because they can see the person behind you. Doesn't really matter when you're getting shocked and you're slowed as fuck.
We've played enough for me to allow that to see. I don't think she's a D.
Oh yeah, I'll put her in D. I'll put her in D or C.
Yeah,
I think Clash is
but
actually viable. She's a team player.
yeah,
Is it?
she has the same problems that the people with her have. That you can kind of choose characters to counter her specifically, and if you don't have a well-oiled team on the defense, you're not going to play your Clash, even if you're a good player.
Sorry, I came in distracting me. I'm cutting this out. Um. So yeah, I think that Clash is a solid operator. Definitely heavy team player. And when you're by yourself, you can even do some strategies when you're by yourself, but that's for like people who are either really retarded attacker wise or just you gotta be really good as a player.
Yeah, from my point being, yeah, I think she belongs to C, not D. She's not as niche as Amari, so
Deimos, what is your initial reaction? Because I have mine.
I feel like Damon's has a big problem in that when he's using his ability, he has to use his pistol, and his pistol's kind of not great. I would also personally probably put him in C, but where are you thinking?
I was thinking B. Now let me explain real quick. First off, I think that's just an us problem. I think his pistol's actually pretty good. One, it shoots through like multiple walls, so you could fucking destroy somebody through like some like 2, 3 walls if you really need.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, again, if you're good with the pistol, it's good because it's not like it has bad recoil. It's not like it has 2 bullets in it. It's just we're bad with pistols. At least speaking for myself, I'm bad with pistols. I also think people use him incorrectly. Every time I see a Deimos player when we play, they're like getting somebody that's deep into sight when it's a 5v5. They're
And
not
not the
going.
cab or
Yeah, they're not
whatever.
going after people who are roaming, or they're not waiting and letting their things sit for now until they until like it's like a 5v3 and now oh my god, the Mira's panicking because she's getting tracked. No, they will use it off rip. The Mira's not gonna go fucking chase you down, buddy. Just wait.
Yeah, I
So
think I agree with you. I think he belongs to B. I think we both are not good at pistols. I like pistols. I can't say I'm good with them. So I think he can go in B. I was gonna say C anyway, so I'm okay with going up B because might be a personal issue, right?
mhm.
So I don't mind the B. I think he's very good, and he's a very good operator on the attack. If you're coerced, or not coerced, but
Yeah, I think
you have a good team.
he's a very you have to play him in a specific way. You can't just go use his fucking gadget.
Yeah, or so.
Doc, I would have put him in C, but then I remembered that he fucking has 3 heal things that heal you like 100%. So I'm
Yeah.
almost thinking B. Man, a lot of people are gonna be in B. I just feel like Doc is so good. I remember for myself so good. Again, he's one of those operators that is very simple. I'm more leaning to C. I'm thinking about it because, for example, right? Let's say you're a Thunderbird. Thunderbird isn't the best, but at the very least, she can put down her gadget and she's done. She's kind of like Rook, where you just put it down, you use it, and then you don't have to worry about the operator. Doc, if that dumbass is spawn peeking, you lose your Doc. You lose 300 stims worth of health.
I I I I think.
His gadget's heavy reliant on him being alive.
Oh man, I'm really conflicted now because I think he may belong B. Because yeah, he could lose, but having just like a average player, 300 health in your pocket is an amazing thing.
Again, like I said, I'm not saying that's not an amazing thing. It's just that depending on who has the thing. Because again, if you have a Doc who's trying to roam or taking aggressive fights and he dies, then guess what? You lose out on health. Or let's say he does take those fights and he wins them, but he loses health. He's going to use it on himself and then keep on being aggressive. And then you have a really selfish Doc when you're chilling in sight and you get sniped because your toes through like a drone hole. Now you're at 1 HP. Hey, Doc, give me a stim. Oh, sorry, I used them all in the first 5 seconds of the game.
Yeah,
So,
I think Doc mains get really selfish, but I think when we're doing we're doing a tier list and just trying to go like the average player or what Doc's supposed to be played as, I think he has to be a B.
okay, I'll give him B. My personal, I think he's a C, but we'll put him in B because
100%.
it is
I
him.
hear you.
Dokubi,
We hate this
if this is a do I like the operator tier list, she's an F.
She's an
Right?
F.
She's an
Well,
F.
she has to be an A character,
She's
right?
an
Maybe
A.
an S.
God, do I fucking hate Dokubi. I don't even want to go over her. I think it's self-explanatory, but I fucking hate her so much.
Yeah, Dokubi's super fucking annoying,
Fuck
but
Dokubi.
to her point, she's supposed to be, and that's what's good about her.
Hate her. Echo. Um,
Oh man, Echo is just
the problem is it's one of those things where you have to time it perfectly because if you're just gonna sit on cam the whole time, then you're basically at a 4v5 the rest of the game. If you play Echo correctly, he's definitely B, maybe even A, because there are some pretty pro Echo plays
I'm
that you
gonna
can
see.
make.
I'm. This is current Echo. Current Echo
We're
is
doing
not
current
great.
and average. And the average
Yeah,
player typically C, because again, most of the time they'll either go find somewhere super far away from sight and sit on their camera the whole time,
right.
and then it'll be like a fucking 3v1 and he's nowhere near sight, and then his
I
gadget still gets shot.
100%.
So
And I
Echo,
also think his gadget alone is also just not helping him anymore because before he used to be invisible. Before there was all these nice little niche things about him to help him keep his drones. Now they're really easy to shoot or get taken over by Bravo or get shot by a Twitch. He's a C.
yeah, I like I said, it's a very you gotta know how to play Echo. If you're playing Echo the average way, you're gonna lose. I also think Ella is kind of like a CB because again, her guns is good, her gadget is good, but I feel like again, I'm trying to think of the perspective of the average Ella player. Most of the
Not
time,
great.
they don't play off of their gadget. They use it as like a sound cue to be like, oh, they're coming from over here, but they're not really playing off of it, which is kind of what you should do at the very least.
Ella's a roamer that's supposed to get picked when they roam into your like designated area. I think Ella is great at that, but people don't play her the way she's supposed to. I have, and at the same time, her gadget has also been nerfed to the point where even if you are playing her the way she's supposed to be played, there's still a good chance that you're going to lose that fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
So
now it's in days as much, it's not as much as a vision blur. I think she will see as well.
okay, we'll put her C. Fenrir, I think he's an A.
Still A.
After the
Used to
nerf,
be S.
like
Used to
again,
be S.
the
He's
problem
A.
is the nerf didn't do anything. Not because it didn't do anything. It was because people like forget it exists. Fenrir is pretty easily counterable nowadays, especially because you can easily shoot it. Like for example, if you see because you know how you can activate and deactivate. If you see a deactivated one, just fucking shoot that bitch. Everyone forgets that you could just do that.
Yeah, I think Fenrir is an A, even with that nerf, and even say people didn't remember it, you can still place it in really good spots. It can still be a deterrent in certain like maps. I think Fenrir is A. Um, Before he was S, when was it bulletproof? When it was bulletproof, super
Absolutely.
S. But right now it's A for sure.
He gets the A because of the nerf, but he's almost an S still. Doesn't care.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
I'll let you handle this one too because I don't have a lot of expertise in this one.
I like Finka. I can't say she's great. It's not like Bravo where she just does so much no matter when you play her. I like Finka because she doesn't have to be in line of sight to heal you. She can still pick you up. Um, I just it sucks because I think the cooldown has been really increased. It's such a long cooldown now.
Mm-hmm.
I would personally probably put. I can't put her above Doc because they do the same thing in different ways. I would put her probably in B tier.
B tier. For me, personally, I would move Doc to C and move her and keep her in B because I
Mm-hmm.
think she does a little bit better job at doing what Doc does just because of the fact that she can do it from anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah. I wouldn't mind putting because I think Thunderbird's gonna go in B as well, so I wouldn't mind putting Doc in C.
We're moving first move. We're moving Doc
Yeah,
to C.
yeah.
Flores, I tempted to put him in D
D,
because again
yeah.
he has a shitty gun. I don't like DMR. I don't like that DMR specifically. The AR-33 is okay. I like it. His gadget again. It depends. He's a very situational operator because most of the time
I
you're
just
gonna
think very
have
niche.
somebody who can do whatever Flores is trying to do anyways. So it's not like you need a Flores. Like if you see like a deployable shield or like a Scopos or something, you're always gonna have somebody that you're
That has explosives or has an explosive type of
exactly. You
gadget
don't ever
or has a way
need to
to.
bring a
Yeah,
Flores.
I think he can be good and can help a certain attack, but just like Amaru, there's just not a lot of times where that is the truth.
Mm. Frost,
Oh, I love Frost, but she's not great. She's I think a C.
I think in C. Okay, I think that she's easily counterable.
One percent.
I don't even say counterable because counterable is like somebody who's like oh like grenade like you just look down and shoot. I think that she is a very easily forgotten operator. Or if you don't realize, like I've stepped in numerous frost mats because I either she wasn't scanned or I just wasn't paying attention, and then boom, I walked into a frost mat. So like sometimes you kind of forget, even somebody who's been playing the game forever, you're gonna step in a frost mat. You watch pro league video matches, and they're stepping a frost mat sometimes. So I think that she's good if you use her
Yeah,
correctly. Again, all of these can be good if you use them correctly, but she has like a gap where it's like you could definitely use her in some form and get some
I
people.
just think that in the vein of how we're talking about Castle, there's so much you can do against her. Most of the teams that you do Castle are a operator thing. Well, Frost can be any single person can just if you're aware of her, it's already bad.
Yeah,
The
especially
occasion, but if you use her, it's just niche. Same with Alibi. Same with like Castle. You're not going to be able to do much, but when you do it, when you're able to, it can be really valuable.
100%. I agree. Fuse.
Oh man,
I'm gonna put him in D, and if you can convince me to put him higher if you think so. He's also another one of those operators where it's just like he has a good gun, but it's like his gadget is so like you have to play. It's a very situational one because for example, some sites don't have an above floor, so you can't.
yeah.
That's like one of Fuse's primary, like uses is go above and fuse from above and get them.
And some places do have a floor where you can't fuse from top.
Exactly, and yeah, so even worse, where some gadgets are, sorry, some objectives are
Sites.
below but don't have a thing you can fuse, and so it kind of fucks over. So he's not that like the gadget itself is good, but it's not very useful in most situations. Like you're gonna find
I
like
agree.
you're gonna find one where it's like fuck you can like blow up from a hatch and that's directly above sight and you're gonna yeah that's to be good sometimes but not really like for example I think good sites are like the kitchen site in Coastline. That's a good site to bring fuse and ram combo right there, boom, you're taking over a whole site. There aren't a
I
lot of
will say
sites like
that my biggest problem with fuse as well is that they don't like it takes a while for them to go off. So the defenders, if they're aware, and most average players are aware and are not ass, like not complete ass, you're not gonna usually get a kill. You're mainly fusing to get away all the gadgets that are down. And if you have
Or at
characters
least
that
just
are
clear the site and get them away from where you want to
yeah,
go.
and if you have characters that aren't gadget based, like let's say you have, an Aruni, a Doc, right? Ella who's off site, you're not gonna get most of those gadgets. So it's he's not meant for killing. People try to use for killing, and you can, but it's rare. And what he does sometimes is not going to be helpful. Most of the time, not going to be helpful.
Mm. This one's gonna be not biased, but it's gonna be a little. I'm putting him in C, Glaz, because I don't know what it is. I guess people just like ego peeking. When they see a smoke, they're like, "Yo, I gotta look at that." And so I've had so many matches where Glaz got unnecessary picks because they're just staring into the smoke for no reason. Even though Glaz is fucking scanned, he was called out, and he has a very again. I know you were talking about earlier about like, oh, like the guns at the top of your head. Glaz is a very recognizable gun. You can kind of know when there's a
Yeah.
Glaz. Also, he's been in the game forever, so it's not like anybody that's played a while ago doesn't know about Glaz. Everyone knows about Glaz, and I don't know what it is. Everyone just likes shoving their face in fucking smokes whenever it goes off. And so, just for that reason, I would have D tier if people were smarter, but the average Siege player just isn't smart and likes to stick their nose where they shouldn't be. And so, Glaz is going in C for that reason for me personally.
I was gonna say C for a less aggressive reason because I also think he's kind of like a D operator, where if you're just playing by the books, you're not gonna die by him.
Also, sometimes
But
some Glaz players don't even bring fucking smoke, so that's another thing that goes.
that's the other thing. Glass uses smokes to his advantage, but he doesn't have to. His gadget isn't smokes; it's a thermal sight, and that thermal sight can help a lot of people.
Yeah, but if you don't have a smoke, most likely they're gonna see you. If
Yeah,
you see them,
that's why I say C because the thermal of it is really nice in a lot of cases. On like the darker maps, like the garage, snowmobile in Chile, it's very dark in there. There's not a lot of lights. So even without a smoke, you can see all the way into like the wine area, and with thermal, you're getting those pixels. So I think he's a C. He's not as assed as people think he is, but he's also not benefiting because people who play against Glass are not being very smart, like you said.
yeah. Goyo, I would put him in B. I think I fucking hate the Vector. I just suck with it. I'm not gonna bring down the points. The gun is good. I'm just ass.
I like the Vector. I use it. I like Goyo.
Goyo is good. I think that again, especially when you place it in good places, you gotta place it where it's not gonna easily get shot, but you could easily shoot it yourself. And so
He's one of the best.
That's hard to master.
One of the best.
But I think he's a pretty solid operator.
Yeah, he's one of the best at time consuming on the defense. Like we're talking about Castle. He's just one of the best. The only problem is that a lot of times it might be used against you. If Goyo places stuff and then dies, there's a high chance that the attackers are going to use those Goyos against you. And that's why I think he's on the same playing field as a Castle. They can both do their things. Castle's very accountable, but Goyo at least can consume even if he's dead. But the flip side is that they can be used against you.
What I will say is Goyo's biggest fucking a counter is a Twitch, because if you know that they have a Goyo and you go Twitch, you can take out those Goyos in the first like 10 seconds of the round, making 100%. Goyo just a shooting operator. He's nothing more than just a person who shoots a gun.
A nothing bugger.
Most people don't really do that. I like doing it because I'm an asshole.
I think Goyo's there, and I think Goyo could be an A, but I think B is good because there's just the flip side of it is also really, really bad.
I'll take this one from here. As much as I play her, Junior, and I love me. I'm on the Gridlock bandwagon.
You love Gridlock.
She's a D. Let me explain. Her guns are good. Her guns are fantastic. She's a chunky girl. And that gives her some good health. She has the super shorty, which I love that shotgun. The problem is the gadget itself is so mediocre in comparison to all of the other ways you could flank somebody or do flank watch, with just the secondary gadgets being claymores to like nomad to almost to anybody else. Like again, even like I said, just a claymore itself sometimes is better than fucking gridlocks.
Yeah.
So she's a very situational person where depending on the site and depending on who you're playing against, gridlock could be useful, but most of the time I'm going
Super
because I
niche.
really like her gun and I really like the fact that she has like 130 health. That's
Yeah,
that's kind
super
of
niche.
amazing.
But I was gonna, even if you didn't say anything, I was probably saying D too because I think it's not super useful. It's
Yeah,
super niche, like the other characters that are there. Next character also D for me.
you think this is a D?
I think and not because of Grim. I think because like you said, oh, Gridlock has this about her health, her gun. I think Grim is fine. I just think the gadget's kind of ass because there's so many times where Grim has known where I am or has a idea of where I am, and he shoots his little bees right next to me, and it's not scaring me. I think the radius just sucks for it. It's not
Uh,
reliable.
I think it depends on who shoots it because it could literally just be that he's not good at placing it. Also, they changed the way he works, so some people that might not be aware of it might not realize that he has two different ways of shooting it. He has sticky and then bounce. So he'll shoot if you have it set to sticky, it'll stick to wherever you shoot and stay exactly there. If you have it on bounce, it'll bounce once and then it'll go to where you want it to go to. So some people
No,
might.
I know that about it, but like for example, this happened I think yesterday. We were on cafe and on the main side upstairs, there's that window to the right of Bob A, I think it is. Right? The one with all the windows, right?
Mhm.
And that window right in the corner, that little corner room right there, there was a Grim. He bounced it off the wall of the A and B connecting wall into that corner, and I was sitting there as a Legion, and he still didn't scan me, but it was right in front of me. Granted, it was a little in front of me, but like it
Here's the
should
thing.
have gotten me.
Here's the thing: is I think the radius is pretty big, so I think it might have been further than what you think. As well as it depends on you're not supposed to really play him like that. I think depending on the game mode. We're obviously gonna default a lot of this to bomb, but you don't want to
Yeah.
shoot it directly at somebody. You kind of want it to be like an overall flank watch, so that when you're sitting down and you shoot it somewhere, you don't have to
Well,
worry
he didn't
about
know
them.
I was there. I should say that he didn't know I was there. People sit there a lot, so he was trying to see if someone was sitting
But
there.
that's something like that could easily be taken out by a drone. So I think that's just the player itself and not Grim. Grim is
Yeah.
mainly used for, like flank watches. Not even flank watches, but like aftermath flanks where like you're shooting at something just to take that part of the map out of the equation. So cuz you'll see
Yeah.
ping and
I don't know. I just feel like the gadget itself
me
is just
personally,
not
I
super
would
useful.
put it up to C, but I'll keep it at D.
I don't
Um
know. I would love to see what Grim players think because I agree. F tier Hibana sucks. Worst breacher. She does nothing better than anything else. Next.
we're gonna have to talk about that one. Ayana, I'm putting her in B. I think Ayana is
Yeah,
extremely
100%.
useful. Both her guns are awesome, and I just think that she infinite
100%.
gadget. It's not like she has a specific time frame. She can just infinitely do
Yeah.
it.
Uh-huh.
And again, like her guns are good. She's a good entry fragger.
I agree. I
Even taking
completely
away
agree.
her nades and shit. I think in when they took away her fucking scope, making the AR one times only.
Still great. I play on sometimes, and it's just so it's a breath of fresh air almost.
IQ, I don't even really know where to put her. To be
I
honest
would
with you.
put her in C
C,
because
yeah,
I think she's part of that thing where, like, with an Echo or with Cav, where great players can use her correctly, but in the average terms, they're not communicating correctly to their team about what they're seeing.
Yeah, the average
They'll,
IQ player are typically just like probably pinging it and then saying, "Okay, we know they have a Capcan, we know they have," but they're not really calling that out. Like a good Siege player
yeah,
is gonna be like, "Yo, watch out for the Capcan here." They might even go after pulses and vigils. Like
one
I've been
hundred
trying
percent.
to do this strategy where you throw down a smoke and I shoot a warden through the smoke because I have the gadget on. I haven't done that yet, but even something like that, even like a good IQ player could do that. Most IQ
Yeah.
players are not thinking that far ahead, and they're just not
So
doing
yeah,
it.
I think IQ could be great. Right now, not great. You
Jackal.
can take it with Jackal. I'm not great with Jackal. I don't know much
Jackal's
about.
B again. I think this is another one of those simple operators. Really good guns,
Mhm.
right? He's a nice run of the mill 2 speed, 2 armor, so he's not too slow. He has a good amount of health.
Yeah.
Gadget super simple to use. You get the feet, you see where they are. There you go. Obviously there are a couple of counters. Like I'm not sure if Cav gets scanned. I've seen if she's silent stepping, she doesn't do it as well as Vigil but like if which those are two prominent roamers. But again, just make sure you're looking behind you where you have ears.
Yeah.
I think just because of because the gadget is super simple to use, and there isn't really counters to Jackal, because no one's going Vigil because oh no, there's Jackal. They're just going Vigil because
Yeah.
going Vigil. It's not. It's like an indirect counter.
No, I agree. I can agree
So I
with
think
that.
Jackal is pretty easy to use. Jaeger, I'm
I
putting in. Where do you think we should go?
I would put him in A, right next to Rooney.
That means he's going in B because I was going to give him a C.
Really?
Yeah.
I think his gun is great. I think his gadget's great.
I
I
think.
think.
But here's what I'll say. His gadget is good, but his gadget is only good when I forget there's a Jaeger. Most of the time there's a Jaeger and I remember, I'll either just not waste my gadgets there, which most of the time I don't need to, because the way I use gadgets, like I'm not like for example grenades. When I'm running a grenade, I'm making sure that grenade is landing wherever it needs to land. Uh, Burning through an ADS is so easy with most of the operators I play because, for instance, Capital, he has 2 smokes. So one ADS would take away 2 things. I can shoot 2 smokes, get those ADSs going, and then guess what? Now I get to use my fire. On top of the fact that it's so big that you can really shoot it out compared to like where you could place a Wamai. Because Wamai I would place in B as well because I think he's better than Jaeger, but we're putting him in B to compromise. I think that Wamai
I
is
think
better.
Wamai is worse than Jaeger.
I think Wamai, for me personally, I think Wamai is better than Jaeger.
We differ here. I think Jaeger is good because, like you said, using the Capital situation, yeah, you're burning your smokes, but there might be a site or two where you want those smokes and you're burning through your fires instead. He's purposely getting rid of stuff that you can use later on in a situation that you may not have foreseen. And it happens a lot to you and me because we like doing the Mod T and Thatcher strat.
Mm.
A lot of times I have to burn through a EMP or two because maybe I brought my breach charges, right? You have to go burn through a smoke or two because we can't lose all of our gadgets. And it's just if it's well placed, we can't even shoot it out.
Like I said, I think that it's one. It depending on the operator you're playing, it's very easy to just burn through. Like for example, like a smoke. I'd rather waste a smoke than a fire in any situation. I don't care what my initial plan is, even if I want the smoke or not. I'm wasting the smoke over a fire for a Jaeger. But also again, Jaeger and Wamai are both direct, like counters. Not counters, but both direct comparisons. I think Wamai does it a little better because you still have to burn stuff for a Wamai, but as well as he has more, technically more, because I think he has up to like 7. I could be wrong on that.
Guess. If we're gonna put Jaeger,
you could also place them. You could also place them wherever. So hold on, where is he? I'll just do him right now. I think Wamai, you can put them wherever. Jaeger, you have to put them on the floor or on a wall that you can reach. Wamai, you can just toss that bitch.
Yeah, I guess it's fair. I guess there's they obviously both have the pros and cons. I think they do realistically the same thing because it's 7 Wamais, but it's also technically 6 Jaegers.
It's technically infinite because it runs infinitely, but most of it takes like 20 seconds to recharge. And by that point, you're probably pushing it and shooting it. So yeah, I think they're both. They're fine both at me. Kaid.
Yeah, I think they're fine.
I have my opinion on Kaid.
I think Kaid's better than Bandit, so I think we put him in.
So yeah, so that's what I was gonna put. I think he's an extremely useful operator. Especially where you throw it. There isn't again. His guns are good. I'm a fan of his. When Kaid came out, I was pretty much rocking the fucking his AUG 24/7. Yeah, I love his AUG. I'm not good with the shotgun, but the shotgun also is good. Like I'm not gonna say it's bad. So yeah, I think.
I think he just does Bandit better. I think you only get 2, which sucks, but I think even those 2 can cover a lot of ground if you place it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And he has really good guns. He can place it anywhere. He doesn't have to place it on the floor like Bandit. So it's just really good. You can take over Callie.
Callie, I'm do a little bias and put her in C. She's not that good, but she's kind of fun to play. And she's another one of those things where it's also very simple because she technically has two gadgets. She has the gadget where she can destroy stuff through like reinforcements or whatever, but also her gun in of itself is a gadget because it's not just a gun. For 1 and 2 speeds, it's automatic kill or down. It's not like damage. It's if you shoot him in the chest, it's automatic down. Oh, sorry, it's automatic kill for 3 speeds. I don't know what I said before, but 1 automatic kill for 3 speeds. And then for 2 and 1 speed, it's automatic down. So it's almost a gadget in of itself because if you hit that shot on the chest, you got somebody down directly. And so I think although she isn't the best operator, she is a very simple operator. It's not like one of those where it's easily counterable or her gadget stinks. It's just gadget just isn't.
I was gonna say she's a C. She's not great because there's a lot of maps where she can be played on, but when she can be played,
she's again, if she's a fun operator and her gadget it's just not always the most useful thing, but it's not a bad gadget. And again, I
agree.
Moments where you can't use her technical gadget, her sniper still is like a gadget in of itself. So if you can hit your shots with the fucking sniper, then you got yourselves operator.
Yeah.
Capcan. Like if we're talking about like we just downloaded the game, Capcan's S, right? Most times you run into a Capcan because you're either rushing or you just forgot to drone, but I rarely run into a Capcan. He's pretty easily like if I know there's a Capcan, I'm checking every doorway. And I guess if you want to classify that as a good thing because it slows down operators, taking like a second to look left and right real quick on a door is really not that much of a reason for me to put Capcan in like a A tier or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's between these two. So let me hear what you got.
Where are you leaning though?
I'm leaning C just because again
I also think C. I agree. I think it's C too.
If you're any good, not even any good. If you just are just
any good. If you're average,
if you know even someone just average, if you know there's a Capcan, you're looking for every door.
You're looking, and he only gets 5. He can most of the time now since he can play. Before he used to be on one door and it would just kill you.
Putting him up because I do like the addition of him putting it on multiple doors, or sorry, on one door. That can lead to an insta kill.
That can lead to so my thing is that's what brings it down for me, because the fact that if you look at a door and there's 3 on there, you can already tell that the opposite side of where you're pushing, the other site or other doorway, probably has the other 2. So you are already in a safer position than you were in if you saw just 1, right?
Yeah, okay. I can see what you're saying. At the same, okay, I'm putting him in C to leave it there, but I think that it's like it's depending on who Capcan is playing against. Because, for example, there are multiple spots like that. What's that one map called? Bank spot in open area. I put 2 Capcan two Capcan traps on the open, the double door, leading to outside from like I forgot the fucking place called, the parking lot. Catches somebody every single time. Pretty much 100% success rate.
Yeah, 100%.
Not all doors are like that, and also everybody will check Capcans constantly. So depending on where it is.
I think C is fine. I wouldn't mind a B, but I just think C is really where it's supposed to be. I think it's niche, just like an Alibi or Ella in that same category.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as the Goyo in the upper category.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna let you take this one.
I would love to put him in S. His gun is great. His shotgun is great. He can. There are times where I have won the game just because I was alive. I didn't get a kill. I didn't shoot nobody. Because my gadget was there and I was alive the entire round to get them all off, it won the game it won the round and then the game for my team. There's not a lot of gadgets that can do that for a team. It's information, for your team if you're calling it out correctly. It's denial of plant if you're placing them correctly. Brava can't take control over it and you're not going to slip into it. It's just one of those gadgets where it isn't super counterable other than explosives, which most things are. And it can literally win you a round. In a tight round, in those rounds that go down to the wire.
Okay, so where are we dropping him?
I want to put it in S so bad, but I think that's so biased.
So we'll drop him in A. It's fine. We'll drop him in A.
I'll drop it in A. I'm okay with A, but I personally he's one of my favorite. He's one of the best characters in the game, in my opinion.
Okay. I'll take this one from here. I'm putting him in A as well.
Yeah.
He's probably more so B, but I just think that he's one of those. Like I said, when I look at a gadget, I say how easily can I use it and how useful is it, right? I could easily use it because obviously just fucking it's not like a gadget I have to throw or use. I just press the button and it goes off.
Yeah.
And so either I like using it to push off of somebody, especially if you know they're there, or using it to like, for example, like let's say you're in a gunfight and I pull it off. That guy either has to kind of stand still in the middle of a gunfight, or if he's trying to flee, you'll know where he's fleeing, which means you'll get an edge of the fight to know exactly where you got to go to get this guy. So I think that Lion, on top of his guns, are really good. So I think Lion is a solid operator if you want to go Lion.
Oh yeah, I think he belongs in A. I think a lot of people would give him a little bit of hate because he's not what he used to be, but he's still very solid. He really can stop a rotate in a pinch if they don't want to get seen.
Hmm.
Are you putting them in the color coordinated?
Yeah. He doesn't have one.
Well, no, we need one. Remember?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, we'll use this guy because he doesn't have a color.
Yeah. We'll
put him. Can I put him down here? We'll put him last scope.
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you take.
I think Maestro is also an A. I think Maestro is also an A. I think Bravo can take him, but you are also able to counter Bravo by shooting it, so it's a give and take. It's like a 50-50 there. I think it can also, same with Legion, the only other kind of character who can really stop a plant in a pinch. There's not much to say. You get a lot of intel. It's Echo, but better because he gets 3. They're bulletproof. It's Echo, but better.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. Him?
I put B.
Yeah, I put him in B. His guns are good. I don't like his DMR, but that's because it only has 10 bullets. Literally all DMRs in the game get a lot of love except for his. And unfortunately, you can't really do anything about it now because imagine giving Tubarao 20 bullets with that DMR. You basically have to take that gun away from him. So, unfortunately, Maverick is going to get the shorter end of the stick in the DMR world, but his AR is still really good.
I think he's good.
His gadget is decent. The problem is you gotta know how to use his gadget. Obviously, you got the Maverick like wall strat where you take up the top and bottom and it makes things soft, but you have to have somebody to destroy the soft wall because you can't do it yourself.
I think he's good. I think he belongs right where he is. He's B. He's the average. He's the norm. He has things that hurt him and are good about him. There's nothing too crazy, and an average Maverick player can still accomplish a lot. So.
I want to put Melusi in A because I think that she's really good for slowing down people, especially because she has 4 of them bitches now. So if you have a good team that knows how to set up site, or you're playing with people that you can tell them what to do, if you just focus on setting up site around Melusi, you could really do some damage to the other team.
I was going to say the same thing. I think it was at A. I think she can do a very similar thing to what Fender does, and it's just very in a pinch can really drive an attacker insane. If they're well placed and can win you the gunfight. I think she's like Fenrir in a different font, and I think they're both really well at what they do.
Absolutely. Okay.
I think Mira also goes into A.
Yeah, Mira. The problem with Mira is that if you got some bozos, you're not getting past the Mira. Like that one sense
brain dead players ruin any character. Average player, you place them right, even if they go down, it's still up.
Mira does have new counters, like for example, if you go, what's her name, Ash or what's the other one, Callie, they can destroy the Mira. So she has additional counters that can take her down, but nobody is gonna voluntarily go Callie except for me. And most
Yeah, I
Ash
think
players are usually already Insight dead before the mirrors pop.
before mirror
So
can be popped.
those two counters are typically not used anyways.
Yeah, I think mirror can really hold angles that no one else can, and even if the mirror player goes down, someone else can take her spot as long as you get that like refrag or whoever came in and got her. If you set up
Absolutely.
correctly, if you set up a mirror correctly and you set up the bomb correctly, a winning game just because mirror exists.
Absolutely. Montang, I'm biased
I
here. I really want to put him high, but like you got to be
can't
good.
put him too high, but I
Problem is,
also think
I'm ass with Montang because I hate using his
no.
passive.
I
I'm a
think the
good
average player
support player Montang. I'm not a good aggressive player Montang. I've seen aggressive Monties that fucking destroy the entire lobby.
destroy. I wouldn't be upset putting him A. I would understand if we put him in B.
I'm gonna put him in B for the average
Okay.
player because he's a support. If you
Yeah.
got somebody who plays aggressively and you give him Montang, he's gonna destroy the whole lobby. So we'll put him in B. But he is a solid operator. I just suck with
Yeah.
pistols. I can't do it. Mozzie, I
I
also think
agree.
Mozzie's a. I'm gonna put Mozzie in B. He kind of is a C, but again, like I said, I look at the operator and I say how easy it is to use, how useful. If you take
Mozzie
out
B.
drones, if you take out the drones, right at the very beginning during prep phase, and then you place your Mozzies afterwards, it could do a lot because not only do they get less drones, but we get more cameras.
No, I think Mozzie is a really give and take, similar to like Iana or I was gonna put him in A because there's some counters there that are really good. Because if you get a Brava or a Twitch, you're getting infinite value there.
Mm-hmm.
But I also agree that if you're not playing, he's simple, it's counterable. Both Brava and Twitch can also counter Mozzie if you play it correctly.
Because
So it's a give and
there's
take there.
always going to be another way into sight. There's rarely going to be
Yeah,
a thing where you, especially if you're playing like bomb, because there's always like numerous doors to the site. Like there's rarely a case where there's only like a couple doors into where you're trying to get into. So it's Mozzie is pretty counterable as far as just not even using your gadget
yeah,
correctly.
that's
But
a problem. But I think he is really useful and can be better than.
Mute, I want to put him in A. I don't know what your idea is. I think he's good. Like I said, he's a very simple operator. He's one of the very first. All of the very first operators are B and above because they're all so
Yeah,
simple. They're all easy to use, and their gadget works exactly as intended. They might have more counters than they used to over the years, but realistically,
still works.
they still work the same way they should. And so if Mute was a fucking S tier back then, the most he'd bring down to is like maybe A or a B.
Yeah, I don't mind putting him in A. I would personally put him in B, but A is fine because I think he's better than Bandit at what they do.
No, I don't think he's better
Um,
than Bandit wall wise. I think because
Not wall wise, I just what he can do as in drone denial or even gadget denial. So I think he does a little bit more for a similar tactic, right?
okay, Knock used to be like D, maybe even F,
But
just
now she's
because
S.
she's. I don't think so. I think she's S.
I think she's S. I
You
think
think
the
she's
fact the buff has made her really, really fucking good.
you
I
think the buff went from all the way to, I'm gonna put her in S or keep her in
I
S.
would put her in S. I would
Junior
put her in S.
approved putting her in S.
I before buff, I would say she was a C. Now she's an S.
All right,
The
Knock.
fact that if you don't run, shoot, your gadget does not go down to the point where you basically have an infinite gadget, kind of like Iana, and the gadget, what it does is that you cannot be seen by any of the cameras. That counters Maestro, that counters Scopos, that counters Valkyrie, that counters who else is fucking there?
Echo.
It's just Echo. Thank you. It's just so well made. You are also really quiet to the point where you can flank a Caveira. It's just she's so well, and now with the buff where her gadget doesn't automatically disappear because you're walking.
Hmm.
S.
Okay, I'll let everyone else decide that.
No man. B or A. Initial thoughts. She's good, not the greatest. can be really good post plant. There is other. I use her like plant wise. There's people that use her for actual flank watch. She's really good. There's not much you can do if you place it correctly.
I think he
Uh,
is the best flank watcher of all the attackers.
I would agree with that. And I think she would go into B, maybe A. A's a little bit biased, I feel like, but I would put her in A.
Her guns are really good. I'll put her in B. Guns are
Yeah.
fantastic. Oryx,
Yeah.
personally, I'm gonna let you to speak real quick because I have an idea of where I want to put him.
I feel we're going to conflict here a little bit, but I would want to put him in. Damn. Great rotator, arguably one of the best ones. Has good guns. Fast, dash. I would put him in B, right? Probably A.
I think he's D. To be honest with you,
Okay. I was kind of highballing it because I was trying to give him the credit out, but I'm okay with C.
I would put him in D, but again, I'll give him at C. The problem is that it's just like
D's too much for me.
he's so situational. Yeah, he's a good roamer, but like so is everybody else. Plus, their gadgets exist. Like Vigil's a good roamer. Plus, guess what? You're not seeing him on camera. Cav's a good roamer.
Yeah.
But guess what? You're not going to hear. There are so many other roamers that are better than Oryx. All Oryx does is he's like a 4-speed when you use his ability, and he can climb up patches. So I guess that gives him like he has a good rotator, as you said. But most of his gadgets are not even situational because you could use them for any situation. Because there's hatches on every map. But most of the time, like when I play Oryx, I pretty much don't even use his gadget. I kind of just like his gun, and then I maybe will dash. I really
His
don't
gun is
use
really good.
Oryx that much.
I don't. I think he is a C. I think B. I was gonna place him mainly B, but I wouldn't change it.
Because even the most good, the best Oryx players will like go to a far side of the map where they're not expecting anybody to be, get their pick,
Yeah.
rush back to site. That's not bad, and he's good in that aspect of getting back to site really quickly. But like a lot of the time, if you just go like a 3-speed or like a
I have a
Vigil,
problem though now.
you could take your time.
I have a problem now.
What?
Cav is definitely better than Orox.
You think? Okay. You think Cav is better?
So do we think Cav is B or do we think Orox is D?
Okay. Here's the thing. I'm gonna let you take that because if you think Cav is better than Oryx, then I personally think Oryx is a D. But if you think Cav is just that good, we can put him.
No, I would put Oryx in D, and I know we're jumping the gun a little bit again, but I'll put Vigil in B or A. Vigil, I think, in my opinion, is the best roamer that you can choose.
Okay, so I'll put him in A because I do think he's good. Also, he has the Boss G, which I don't know why. Boss G is so weird because obviously you probably don't keep up with everybody, but everybody's complaining about the Boss G. But the Boss G has been the exact same way for like almost over a year probably now.
It sucks so much because defenders usually have somewhat worse guns than the attackers because they're holding and they are already knowing where they're coming from.
Yeah.
The Boss G is insane on a defender.
It's so good, but also so bad. But the problem, this is what I don't understand about it, is that it's getting so much hate right now. It's never gotten this much hate any other past seasons. It's the exact same gun it's been forever. Everybody is just hopping on the train of using the Boss G. I don't think it's that good of a gun.
It's just more common now.
Yeah, and so now everyone's
before Dokkaebi's didn't use the Boss G, but now even Dokkaebi's are using Boss Gs, and it's just like becoming so much.
So I don't know.
Yeah, but Vigil's definitely one of the best roamers you can choose from.
Osa, depending on who plays her, I think average is probably
controversial.
What do you think?
Oh man, Osa. I like shoot operators. She's not worse than Blitz, but she's not better than. I'll put her in B, but I will say that there are so many bad Osas that my gut feeling was put her in C or D.
Yeah, like I said, I think the way that she's meant to be played is to play off with somebody. A lot of Osas will just push up or just place their Osa on a random ass window and get destroyed by either impact or punch.
Yeah.
But the most of the time, Osa's usually playing with somebody that's behind her to help out. So I think Osa B. I could see her going in C for some people, but I think average is B.
Yeah.
Pulse.
A
little biased, but I think he's a pretty good. I love the UMP. No one can tell me UMP's bad. I fucking love that gun. Shotgun. I love the shotgun. People say those two are the worst guns in the game. I disagree. I'm not gonna say they're the best, but they're definitely not the worst.
I'm gonna let you run with it.
I think those
I
guns
don't
are
play
good.
Pulse enough. I'll let you
Those
run with it. We'll see the comments today, but that's
those
all
go
you.
those guns are good. I don't want to hear any shit from anybody. I
I don't
love
know
those
about the
guns.
Pulse pick, but
You
Pulse
got
is your
Pulse with the
character.
skating from below with the C4 or with the shotgun. It's such a
If
good
I was
option.
able to put Brava in S, you can put Pulse wherever you like.
Yeah,
So,
but Bravo's a little more controversial than Pulse. I will say. I feel like in
Ram, hey,
general our S is controversial. The only one that people probably understand is fucking a zombie. I mean,
yeah. It sucks because the two controversial ones was me.
I'll let you go with that. I'll
Yeah.
let you slide with that.
Ram, A.
Ram A. I guess she has two. I wouldn't say two really good guns. The LMG is good, but like it's good for like suppressing fire. It's not good for
Fuck the guns. Her gadget is really, really
her
good.
gadget is super fucking annoying to deal with. I will say I almost put her in B because not every site you can really utilize her.
But even so, I just think when she's viable, she's like viable. She's necessary
Yeah,
sometimes.
but again, like that's also like saying Warden is a because when you see a smoke, Warden will get a 3K.
Warden is less because it's a lot more niche than a breakable floor.
Okay, I'll take it back then. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep it at A. Rook, I think he's also an A. Again, I'm looking in a perspective. Like I said earlier, I repeated it, but like I'm looking at it as of how easy is the gadget to use and how useful is it. How easy?
Super
Place it
useful.
down at the very beginning. How
Super
useful?
useful.
You get I'm trying to remember. I think it's an increase in health and then automatic down for anything that's not a
Yeah,
headshot.
so and you can now
And
anyone
then
on
you could
defense can look
revive
above
you, and then you
us.
could revive yourself. I think that
There's
he's
so many small things about it that makes it really good.
also
So
he has
I
wonderful guns. Like we're not. He also
love the
has
P90. Fucking love the P90. I love the MP. It's just so good.
So I,
Sends.
as a professional Sens player, I'm going to put him in B. He's not the
Okay.
best, and B is a little gracious for him too, but he's kind of fun.
Okay.
So I really like playing with
I
him.
would put him in B. I was putting him in B. I
Like
don't think
he's
that.
not
Rook
that
should be
good, but
C.
I just think he's a fun operator and
Yeah.
very
100%.
slept on, I will say. So I'm putting him in B. But there's not. I mean,
Yeah.
his
No,
guns are
that's
good.
fine.
He has Twitch DMR, amazing. He has his own
There's
personal
nothing wrong
gun.
with him.
So, uh, obviously as a professional, which one is this? I don't know which one.
That's
I think this
oh,
is Sentry.
I think that is Sentry because there's barricades behind him.
There's barricades in both. I
No,
think
he's like fully barricaded. I should say like
okay.
he's
I
all
think this
barricaded.
is Sentry. As a professional Sentry player, he's gonna go in A as well.
One
He's so good.
100%. And just so we're clear, Sentry
Actually,
is better than Striker.
hold on. Sorry, hot take. He's going in B. She's going in A. Let me tell you why.
You think Striker is better?
They nerfed me by removing the proximity alarm alert. So now I
Nerf.
don't know when to blow it off for my
Okay,
C4s.
okay, 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 okay,
Striker,
okay,
on the
okay.
other hand, can open up an electrified wall on her own
Yeah,
because she
that's
has
fine. That's fine.
EMPs and
And the breach charge. Yeah.
exactly. And then I will say that Sentry has more combos that are useful, but I think
Yeah.
for the main target of Siege, opening up a wall is super valuable,
By
and being able to
itself.
do
By
by
yourself is
yourself
crazy.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, Bias once
Sledge.
again. I'm gonna have to put Sledge in A. He's very good. Good guy. I'm sorry, no. This is Ubisoft's fault, not Sledge Main's. I'm putting him in B because he's too fat and he doesn't have his SMG 11.
I was gonna put him in B, so I want that. That's
Sledge
the
was
correct
absolutely
decision.
S tier if they made him back a 2-speed and they gave him back his SMG 11.
Smoke.
I'll take it from here. I'm gonna put him in A. Good shotgun, SMG 11. Smokes are good for like cutting off sight.
You're out here saying, "Oh, I'll take it from here," and you're doing the most non-controversial things. Because I was gonna say he's probably an A. Other than Goyo, he's the best at time wasting.
Exactly, they're all so good. I actually have a clip of me time wasting with Smoke the other day where I was literally in like a 1v4 and I did it because I'm just that good at. It's just Smoke, honestly. Not even me. It's just Smoke is
Yeah,
that good.
it's
So
just Smoke
Smoke is
is really
good.
good.
Oh,
So I don't think
We have
D.
Solus. Solus, yeah, she got nerfed to the ground. She was really S like 3 seasons ago. Now she's kind of ass.
Max. Knock and Solus just switch spots. That's because Solus used to be S, then got nerfed to the ground. Knock used to be D, and then
Like
got
I'd
buffed.
argue
to C
Solus
rank.
is like a D, but like she's really just not that good anymore.
Yeah, she really isn't.
The problem is I think we have the perspective of she was so amazing that now she's not like the drop down
But
is
she's
so
also
bad.
not good anymore.
I don't know. I don't really play Solus, so I just know she's definitely not S tier anymore. She's definitely ranked down. I just don't know how far down because I personally don't play her.
I've seen a lot of opinions about it being too much, and I can only agree because I would, if you were going to choose between Souls and Pulse, I'll tell you to Pulse. If you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to go someone who can play underneath the site or above the site, there's so many other characters that are better at that at this point.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's just D.
Tachanka. I'll say, here's the thing. I would argue that he was like a B as far as like being a fun operator old wise.
Yeah.
Because his fucking LMG was ass, but it was also kind of fun to use, especially if you paired it with the shield that he had. Now his gadget is kind of bad. I don't really like that fire. I mean, like it's not.
I don't like it either.
He's not as good as any of the people who could like. He's not as good as Smoke. He's not as good as Goyo, and Goyo is B and Smoke is A, so he has to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say B, but C's fine.
No,
yes.
he's not like he's still like I like the LMG. The LMG is destructive. I like it. It's fun.
His guns are fine, but his gadget just. Okay, C's fine.
Mediocre. Let's get
Thatcher.
Thatcher. You know what's funny? You know what's funny, Junior? I'm gonna put Thatcher in A because I watch a lot of like C's like tips and tricks, and everyone's like, look at this cool Kaid spot that you could throw it right here, and it can't get caught by a EMP. Or like a secondary EMP, it can't get caught by Cali, and then they just skip over the fact that it's clearly still destroyable by a Thatcher. Because you can't counter Thatcher. You unfortunately just can't do it. Unless you're a pro bandit tricker, you really can't fucking counter Thatcher. You're screwed.
Yeah, Thatcher's really good. Thatcher's really, really good.
And then obviously we got the Thermite over here. Thermite and they
go tandem. I think
if we were talking about duos, these two are in A. But because separately separately they're A.
Yeah.
Thorn. Let me hear what you gotta say. Then she's going to C. I was going above C and D. She's good. Yeah, she's one of those. She's one of those where if you're playing against the idiot, she's gonna get it. But if you're playing against anybody who's like relatively good, especially somebody who's really good and also knows where your Thorn is, they might even just shoot it.
Yeah, I agree.
So she's like okay. Her guns are phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
And also she has a shield. I like her having a shield. Not the best.
Yeah, Thorn's fine. It's not perfect. There's things that you can do better with her. I think that timer, that long ass timer for her to go off when someone's walked in.
Yeah.
Kill her.
Go ahead, Junior. Go ahead. Now try not to take it to Doc. Doc is right now. Where do we put him? He's in
C, so she's a B. She's a
B.
Oh yeah, Warfinka is perfect. That's fine. I love her gun. My favorite gun is the spear, which Finka Thunderbird have. I love that gun. My problem with Thunderbird is that it's very easy to destroy, and on the flip side, if they don't destroy it, they can also use it. So it's not the perfect gadget. I like it. It's easy to use. It helps the team. If you put it in the right places, it helps the rotators who get injured most of the time to heal up. You can really have a good placement. I have a strat with her that's basically 100%.
Yeah, your patented strat on Coastline?
On Coastline, it's almost foolproof. But she isn't A or S. She's a B tier. It's a little bit nicher. But I think she's on caliber with Finka when it comes to healing.
Tubarão. Here's the thing. I don't see Tubarão played a lot. When I do see him played a lot, they're usually too good at the game. So I'm almost inclined to put him in S. Because every time I've seen a Tubarão play, they're stopping the wall from getting open. Then they have a bandit or a Kaid right next to them getting ready to throw their gadget. The wall doesn't get open. The wall stays closed. Even if the wall gets open, it's within the last 30 seconds. So
my thing with Tubarão is...
Also, Tubarão.
Great guns. I've also seen him help others accomplish their own goals. I've seen Tubarão put his a gadget on a wall to stop a thermite, and then a bandit goes ahead and puts a new bandit on the wall and gets the thermite off. It's not
So
even bandit tricky. He just comes
not only is he
afterwards.
good in of itself, but he's also really good to pair with other people. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
Flash, right? You kind of have to pair her with other people to be really good. Two-Brow, you can still do what Two-Brow got to do on his own and still be a really useful operator.
He's really useful and also enhances others, which is really good. Because a bandit can get caught by a Thatcher and then still get one more bandit off because the Thatcher already went off. Two-Brow stopped the thermite, and then thermite's gone, and you might stop the wall break at that point.
So I'll put Twitch in B, I think. She has, like, okay guns. I just feel like I feel like I just don't see Twitch a lot anymore. I feel like she's
average.
drowned. She gets drowned out by everyone else that exists in the attacker
Yeah.
range.
I would say I'm okay with putting her there.
Not much to say. Twitch has been on everything that Twitch does. Everyone knows she's been in the game from the beginning. Valkyrie, I used to be a signified Valkyrie main. So if I'm talking we're talking about like max 2 years ago, Valkyrie's like AS. Nowadays, I don't really use her anymore.
B?
So I'll put her in B. I think cameras. I think it's good to have a Valkyrie. If you have a Valkyrie, it's like they're usually gonna put cameras in like really interesting and sneaky spots.
Yeah.
I also like it. Also for certain spots, she can be argued to an A. Honestly, she probably is an A. I don't.
She probably is an A, right?
I just don't use her enough to I'll put.
We'll put her in here. We'll put her in here. I think we're being disrespectful to Valkyrie in that moment. She's really good. Even a bad Valkyrie player can still be useful with her gadget, and she has really good guns. So a bad player can be a good player with the guns she has.
Warden.
Oh, Warden.
It's kind of ass. This is very situational. Because again, if they just don't bring smoke, the problem is that it's not even if they don't bring smokes. It's specifically if he's around when they're bringing smokes, and most of the time he's not.
Yeah, I don't think he's that bad. I would put him in C rather than
Warden is rarely fucking not roaming. He's never in sight, and so the time people are getting flashed, and they're flashing the wrong people because Warden's not getting flashed.
He gets a C because he's fashionable.
Okay, I'll give him that. Also, Ying,
this is all you
biased, but she's like a meme operator, but she's one of the very few meme operators that could work really well.
I was expecting you to go into S with that one. You really like a Ying on
a lot
of sites.
The problem is I'm ass. So
yeah, but if people that were not ass did your strats, they would have 100% success rate. So
it's just people are always so dumb when it comes to Ying, and I love it. I'll just fucking throw all my Yings in there, and it's the problem is that we're in an area where most people are probably still falling for that. Higher up people probably, because I think when it comes to our skill level, Ying is good on her own. When it comes to higher levels, Ying needs somebody to play off of her, especially against good people. So I think for that, I'm keeping her in A. But again, a bit biased. Some people might think she's B, D, F, whatever. I think she's
definitely
very
A, maybe even S. Because even in pro play, she's used a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So she's no lower than A. 0, not much of an opinion. But I would probably put him. Oh, B, A.
Where's Valkyrie?
I'll put him B.
I almost put him in A with Valkyrie because he's almost on par with Valkyrie, but just for attacker. I will put him in B because it's harder to get his cameras where you want it to go.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time I feel either in the site or somewhere exposed. But otherwise,
I don't know what it is though. But I also maybe because he's on the attacker side as defender. I almost always catch his drones. I always see
absolutely.
them.
The problem is, take Valkyrie, for example. You don't know where they are. You have to physically find them. 0,
yeah.
The moment I hear that, I'm looking around everywhere trying to find that bitch.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
So he is lower than that. Zofia, I think she got nerfed. She's too fat. I'm putting
her. C? 100%. Agreed.
And then this is supposed to be Scopos. Where do you think Scopos is? I haven't really gotten much experience with her yet.
I would say A.
So you think that she's A?
I think Scopos is A. I think the teleportation mechanic is very, very nice and unique. Has one. I'm bad at aiming. It has helped me soft flank a enemy without needing an assistant. Their gun is amazing. One of the best guns in the game, in my opinion. Not an S because really hard to. You would think you would be able to use the 2 health bars. but I really think that's hard for you to get that switch off when you're in a firefight. So, A.
Right? So, wonderful tier list. But to end off this with even better news, I just sold an attachment skin for 700 credits in the marketplace. I think I put this bitch on the marketplace like 3 weeks ago. So it just sold right now. And now I am a 630 R6 credits after taxes richer than I was like 5 minutes ago.
That's hilarious. That's
So,
hilarious.
I'm making money moves, Junior. Anyways,
Um,
this is Tin and Planty's
that's it.
official tier list. If you disagree, fuck you.
You're wrong.
All right, well there goes that.
That's it.